Anthony Ferraro, Dan Mancina. Two blind guys collide to bring you Four Bad Eyes Podcast.
Welcome back, Four Bad Eyes, the unsighted, unforgiving, unwavering podcast for the world. Dan Mancina.
Anthony Ferraro.
We're back.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for being with us.
We're recorded live.
Recorded live. Right now we're in beautiful California.
Inglewood. I still can't find my wallet. It's a remorseful day because Instagram posted that your first ever ramp you skated, Belmar.
The first ever and the main ramp. I grew up skating. Like, even the past couple years, like what I got my confidence on, mini ramp, the local park, the one I could walk to.
City's shutting it down, or they shut it down finally.
So they shut it down. They closed the park maybe almost a year ago now.
And kept saying they were gonna close it. They're gonna close it.
They said they were gonna tear it down.
Kids kept skating it. I'm assuming
kids kept skating it, and people kept going to meetings and trying to fight it. The skate park or the skate shop, everyone. And there was even like all the social media pages made and save the skate park and
right.
It just.
But today there's a post with like a barrier in the middle. It was sledgehammered, barriered in they sledgehammered the flat. So you can't skate. Dumb.
Like, that is unreal. Like, the
somebody
biggest
would have
waste
taken that.
Yeah, I would have taken that.
Yeah.
I would have found somewhere for it.
Yeah.
Like, anywhere. Even move it to another skate park.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gone. And
destroyed.
It's somewhere, I have so many memories there. Like, I met so many friends there and just spent so much of my childhood, like teenage years going there. That's why I have my scar on my nose. I mean,
you got a little piece of Belmar on you forever, though.
Dude, it's really a bittersweet
Belmar
thing.
Tattooed on your face.
It's
but we gotta keep fighting. Keep.
Yeah, I'm in touch with some people, and I'm talking to trying to figure some things out. Even it's gonna take a long time, but even if it takes years and years, I'm gonna make sure there's another park, accessible for kids. Like, there's parks around the area, even like 20 minutes away, but it's not the same because this park, like, a lot of these kids can't get rides. A lot of them are young and they can't drive, and it's a park where they would go after school and skate and stay out of trouble. And
it doesn't take that much space. It wasn't that big of an area.
No, it's
right?
a very small park.
Yeah, it's a little something goes a long way.
And
each little town should have some little something, at least something to skate.
And they've been trying to shut it down for years. And then, like, my buddy posted on Instagram today this whole post, and it was so sad, like, saying how it's his home and, like, it's taken down, and it's just gone. And they, like, words can't even describe how you feel. It's a place where you, like, blood, sweat, and tears, literally.
Well, a piece of your childhood,
Mm-hmm. And, like, especially for me, not being able to drive, like, I could literally walk there. It would take 10 minutes, whatever, but, like, it was a walk, and I could go to the skate park whenever I wanted. But now it's, like, a $30 Uber drive.
Reminds me of that John Mayer song.
What?
They paved the skate park and put up a parking lot.
That's not John Mayer.
Ooh, up. It's not Mayer?
No.
Who is it, Jack Johnson?
No, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, it's Mayer, dude.
No.
They paved the skate park, put up a parking lot. Ooh.
Bop, bop.
But I'm sure the city, they'll eventually get a new shiny park. What are they doing with it?
I'm across the street's the bar. A big bar that makes a lot of money for the town, and I think
they're literally going to turn it to a parking lot.
Literally, that's what they're doing.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah,
that's a bummer. Yeah, so, Detroit lost a big DIY. Was that 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago maybe. That had a lot of. That's where I got my braille board and stuff. Where Real did the braille board.
No, that park's gone.
But the city did the same thing. They were saying, like, for years, like, this is the last year. This is the last year. It went on for a couple of years. And then finally, they just went in there and destroyed it.
It's a sad
But then Detroit got, I think, 2 new parks. They're building another one already.
How did you feel that day, though? Do you remember it?
I mean, I didn't have that much connection. That wasn't like the childhood. We didn't even have a skate park when I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like any like huge loss to me, but to the skate community, it was huge because a lot of people they got a lot of use, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of time of people just putting in Community Push was like kind of the organization behind that. Shout out to Community Push. But yeah, so it was a big, big loss for the whole skate community as a whole, and especially people who live downtown in that area.
Right.
But then they built, I mean, a massive, beautiful park that's like lit up at night.
Yeah,
and then another park got built, and I built another.
It just goes to show, like, you know, you lose some, but you gain so much more in the end. Like, if you just stay strong.
Yeah, as long as you show, like, the kids and families keep coming and say, hey, we want this in our community. Like, they have to listen, and when they see that, like, they'll see that it's actually a good use of
takes a village.
Of the tax dollars. Because they do get used a bunch, you know?
Exactly.
There's always somebody there skating.
Oh, this park there was always kids on the ramp.
Yeah.
I learned so many tricks there.
What was there? Was the mini ramp? Was it just the mini?
No, so it was a mini ramp and then like a quarter. So the way it was set up, you would walk in and there would be a quarter pipe that would be going sideways, like basically
I like quarter pipes that go.
You.
No, I don't know.
No, I'm saying it's facing like perpendicular to you, and and then you go up the quarter pipe, and then you're on the deck for the half pipe.
Could people air? Could people air from the mini ramp into the quarter?
Mm-hmm. And from the quarter into the mini. And people do it all the time. And then there was a box in like down the quarter.
There's a little box too.
There's a box, and there'd be like a little China. What's that called? A little gap, Euro gap. And then also a flat bar, like on the.
You ever grind that box?
No.
You ever grind the flat bar?
I never.
Anthony Ferraro.
Once you taught me how to grind, this park was closed.
Anthony Ferraro. But you did skate it a month ago, and I know you could grind that.
Yeah,
just had to get a couple of rides on the mini, one last cruise.
It's I'm really glad I did.
They'll build another one, a better one.
Yeah,
they will build it bigger and stronger. But yeah, so reach out to your congressman if you live in the New Jersey. What town?
Belmar.
Oh, that is the name of the town.
But even if you're in the surrounding towns.
Yeah, tell me you want that. Email. You can send a quick email. It'll take you, a couple minutes to look up your local, I don't even know, congressman? Senator? Not
borough.
senator.
What is it? Just
look up your
the mayor.
City mayor. Write him an email.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go. Goes a long way. Shout out to the Belmar skate community and surrounding areas. What's the local shop over there?
Belmar Pro skate shop.
Belmar Pro, dude. Belmar Am, Belmar Pro.
Belmar Am? No, but
good shop.
They used to have a ramp in the shop, and it actually had to go, but that was sick.
Tearing down ramps left and right over there, dude.
It's really sad.
Can't keep a ramp in Belmar.
They don't like skateboarding in Belmar. Skating kind of has in some places
a lot of cities like that.
It's the stigmatism with it, or the stereotypes that go with it.
In Farmington, where the local shop is, like, I don't know if I think it might still be like this, but it's like illegal just to skateboard, like just to like do tricks down the street. Other than like just riding, it's illegal to even be skateboarding in the city.
Serious?
Yeah. People used to get tickets all the time. Back when I was in high school, so that was like 2005-ish.
That's insane.
All the way up to recent. I think somebody was, like a year ago, maybe a little more than a year, they were skating out front, and some kid got a ticket for skating like a flat bar out in front of the skate shop.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's insane.
I had to go fight it. And
after like the pandemic and stuff.
Rob's like, he's just trying out this new stuff he just bought at the shop. I got to try stuff out. Yeah, some cities are not skate friendly. That's how it is, doggy.
Fried chicken.
We're pushing though. We just ate a bunch of fried chicken, dude.
Dude, feeling crazy from that.
Are you?
Grease bomb. Grease bomb. Late night fried chicken, not.
Good spot though.
Yeah, it was bomb. It was really good. But speaking of fried chicken, that's how me and Kelly fell in love. Over fried chicken? What happened? Did like
You guys were eating the same piece of chicken, and then you met at the end of the bone and kissed?
No, so we met that day at my buddy's house in Belmar, actually.
Belmar, a lot of history in that city.
Yeah. And at end of that day, like, my buddy ended up cooking fried chicken, like, massive amounts for, like, all of our friends. And everyone started tapping out, and I was, like, going up for, like, 8th round. And, like, Kelly and her sister were the last ones, like, going up too. And she was like, who the hell is this guy? Like, he's amazing.
Smashing chicken.
And I was like, this girl loves fried chicken like I do. It was just love at first chicken.
I've heard you say that. Kelly likes a man that can eat.
Mm-hmm. Because Kelly can, well, I'm like super picky too, and Kelly can eat like anything. Like, it's crazy. She eats like foie gras and all that stuff, and I'm just like, ugh.
You were raised organic, bro. Can't handle the chicken.
She got me to eat escargot and frog leg. Yeah, frog legs in Paris.
Escargot, your cargo, how fast?
160 swiftly.
You're going faster than 160 this.
Oh, yeah, baby. Speaking
Nice segue.
Of, vroom, vroom.
Nice
segue, Dan. That was great.
Getting better.
Oh, man. That was
you guys
better.
rented a
Ferrari. Ferraro's in the Ferrari.
A brand new all-white Ferrari, dude.
Kelly surprised me on my birthday, and we rented a Ferrari and drove up and down the coast, and zoom. It was sick. It was like a roller coaster, dude. Like,
dude, all leather seats.
Leather seats. It felt like a
car.
spaceship, and it was so low to the ground. I've never been in a car that low.
Yeah.
And
no tickets?
No tickets.
Wow.
No scrapes.
Can't catch you in that thing, dude.
That's what I figured. I was like, if a cop came, I feel like
hammer on it, dude.
Just mad at.
Yeah, that thing is sick. Brought it by the hotel.
Yeah, we had a whole day, and then I actually did some donuts in the parking lot.
You got to drive?
Yeah, I got to drive, and the power behind it is insane. Like, when Kelly would go on the highway, it would, like, shoot you back into your seat, like, and you're just holding on to, like, the handle at the door.
Delta was cruising in there, too?
Delta was right at my feet and sometimes on my lap. Oh, speaking of Delta, she's all curled up right next to me.
Is she? Delta, get over here.
But then we brought it I was like, it was only a 2-seater, so Dan couldn't come in like all day. And I was like, we gotta let Dan see this. Like, you know, it's like, when do you get the chance to like actually feel them and like, you know, touch every part of it? And so we brought it to Dan's hotel on Sunset B, and he came out and got to sit in the Ferrari. And he was like, he's immediately started, tell him. He started feeling it like all over, right?
Yeah, just touching everything. The hood, I had to pop the front because the
frunk.
The trunk is in the front and stuff. The back engine's like has a glass. You can like see into the rear and see the engine and everything. And it's just like, dude, crazy.
You could feel the Ferrari
car,
written
rims,
in the back.
All the logos on it.
And then you sat in the driver's seat, and
I drove it afoot.
You're like, I just got to drive it afoot, so I can say I drove a Ferrari.
Got to drive the Ferrari. Yeah, I just wanted to really rip that thing, though. That actually did make me borderline sad when I was sitting in that seat.
Trust me,
like, man, I missed. Yeah, I would love to drive.
It made me sad even being in the park. Like, I was so grateful, but I was like, to like rip this thing on an open road, because you don't get to feel it really, you know, until you do that.
And like hit turns would feel so
like,
cool. Yeah. I did miss driving there for a
Kelly
second.
would like speed up on the turns, like just whip by him, you know.
Nice so $300,000 car, dude.
It was
wild.
Honestly, a bucket list thing, because I've never known what a Ferrari looked like ever until yesterday.
I'm gonna get you a little model one.
I know, a little model Ferrari.
Yeah, you remember what the name of that was, Kelly? Like a
M88.
Oh,
she might be getting it wrong.
Yeah.
No matter how I tried it.
Not too many.
No,
places
she
in
definitely
LA.
tried it.
2 hands on the steering wheel in that car.
It's really, it's not. But
it's not a toy.
What? Yeah, no. So actually, this guy reached out to me after seeing the video, and he said, we have a racetrack in New Jersey and would love to get you in a controlled area and teach you how to drive a race car, like doing donuts. Yeah, I know. So that is going to be insane.
Yeah, because you got to do a real donut where you're like, skirt.
Yeah, where you're skirting all through. Yeah. Like, that is a dream of mine, just to put a pedal to the metal and just go, dude.
Pedal to the floor and just hammer it.
Oh, man. Did you ever do that when you could drive?
Like, drive fast and crazy?
Yeah. When you did you ever?
Yeah, I used to, yeah. I've done a couple donuts. I remember I was driving, the first nice car my mom got was like a BMW 325i. And I was in a freshly paved like asphalt thing, and it had just rained, so it was a little slick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm gonna just do like a little skirt 180, you know? So I like go and I
just a little.
So like hammer on it, and I turned and I did a full 360. Oh my God. And ended up just going straight again. Like I just tried to do like just swerve like Tokyo
and
drift.
You just kept going?
Yeah, I tried to just Tokyo drift for a second, and I went full 360, God. And then I was like, oh shit.
Yo, that's nuts.
Felt tight though.
Wait, was that stick or manual or
it was a manual, yeah.
So you could drive manual?
Manual, yeah. Or you mean stick?
Yeah.
Could I drive stick? I learned how to drive stick, but I only drove an old 4Runner that my stepdad had got. I learned how to drive that, but I never drove that very much. Yeah. I only drove it for like a week, and then so I don't know. It would take me a while to get used to manual.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, like I said though, like I never touched one before. I never knew what they looked like. I never knew the shape. And
yeah, the sides have like on the side like rear kind of
like vent things.
Yeah, the intakes are all
scoopers.
Yeah, so cool feeling.
And then they have the what is it? The lights. The headlights are like circles.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like a can like shape.
Yeah, those are sick,
dude. It was really cool.
It was cool to, like you said, like actually get to feel the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Dude, I was like that with I never. This is really funny. No, I never knew what animals, like certain animals, looked like, and I always wanted to know. Like, I'm serious. You could touch a dog. You can go to a petting zoo and touch certain.
I want to feel a giraffe.
But like, I didn't know I knew what a giraffe I had an idea, but like, dude, things like rhinos, like walruses, like these weird animals. Like I was just always like, dude, what do they look like? Like I would ask people like so many questions, and then one day Kelly got me a book that has like tactile animals in it, and it's sick because it like actually gave me a reference of like what things look like.
I need to get you a bunch of animal little toys,
dude.
Too.
I know. I really like. I do like stuffed animals or something. Like I'm genuinely, those things make a difference because it creates that visual image of what things look like to me.
What about cartoon, like a Winnie the Pooh? You know what Winnie the Pooh looks like?
Yeah, because I used to have the stuffed animals and stuff, and I had a little bit.
You have Tigger? Tigger was my favorite.
Yeah, Tigger was my favorite.
I got but those aren't like true because I had a Tigger toy that I got from Disney,
and it didn't really look like him.
It wasn't really like what Tigger looks like in the cartoon.
That's wild.
Because it's just like this hard stuffed thing. I remember I was on the airplane and I had it. I was a little kid, and I kept like bringing it over my head and like smashing it on like the top back of my seat. So like it was just going right in front of the dude behind me, and my mom kept saying, "Stop doing that! Stop doing that!" And I did it once, and the guy grabbed it.
No,
and my little heart stopped.
Oh
dude.
My God!
He grabbed it and pulled it, and my mom was like, "That's what you get." And then like I was like, "Oh my God!" I remember just being so freaked out,
so flustered, like, "Yo, he stole my Tigger!"
So scared. Got him back though. I still have that thing at my mom's, but it doesn't feel like the actual. Like the real cartoon, how he looks.
Yeah, cartoons. There's just so many animals, though, that like...
There's a lot of animals.
Even when you're at a zoo, I remember being at zoos when I was little, like, people would say, "Oh, look at the thing, like, far in the distance." I'm like, "Oh, it sucks." Like,
yeah, I don't know how you'd be able to feel a rhino without getting murked.
Or like a bear.
Well,
like,
you have to give you like, you gotta find like a
dude,
dead, you gotta find a dead one.
Like, what does a fox look like? I started getting so like in a rabbit hole of like, I don't know what animal thing like. It was crazy.
Somebody send Anthony just as many animals as you can, like actual
Oh my gosh.
anatomically correct animals. We're gonna have a nature episode.
Nature episode. We'll go through them all. I'll try and guess which animals which.
That would be good. It's a good For Bad Eyes
that would
video.
Be a great video.
I have to remember that. Write that down, Kelly. That's funny.
I know. That's good.
You know what a car looks like, though?
Yeah, now I do.
Ferrari.
I know what a Ferrari
Brand new
looks like
Ferrari.
That sound when you turn it on. There was a when we were coming back from San Diego to LA, there was an hour of the drive where we didn't even listen to any music. You just listened to the hum of the Ferrari.
Listen to that kitty purr.
It would literally shift gears and
GoPro?
it would sound like an airplane.
Was that GoPro or no? No, okay.
No.
Yeah, just like
It sounded like it would go and like it was nuts, dude. It was, and then it would quiet down and then just roar back up, and you're like,
meant to just fly, dude. Built for speed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to go to that Jersey track.
I know that's
It'd be amazing.
gonna be a
you gotta hit
dream
that guy
come
up
true.
tonight, dude.
Oh, I respond to him right away.
Dude, I'm in.
Yeah, we got to do a For Bad Eyes racetrack.
Yeah, that sounds fun, dude.
We really should try to schedule that for
We're gonna
when
race,
we come
dude.
to Jersey. Oh my gosh, if we raced.
I'm gonna race.
Yo, you trying to race?
You again. You again. What are you doing here? No, you did some really funny videos for your stuff. Really good ones.
Oh, that's good. We got some great For Bad Eyes videos
Yeah, it's
coming
been fun.
out.
The week's kind of winding down, huh? You getting ready to go home yet?
It's been a crazy trip. It's been really busy. I'm actually exhausted. Really out of it. We all fell asleep actually today.
I'm not gonna sleep tonight.
We all
Took
we
a
all-
2-hour nap.
We all fell asleep, and next thing you know, it was like 10 o'clock.
Fried chicken time.
Friday, we had to figure out dinner. Got grease bombed.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man. What
What else? I got.
do you like to? How often do you cook for the wifey? You ever cook a meal?
Yeah, I cook I do like to cook sometimes. We like to cook together a lot.
Yeah.
Like we'll do the meals together, but
because
there's-
she's working from home mostly
yeah,
too. So
exactly. You'll make Heather meals like when she's at work, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes.
I probably depends on the week. It'd be at least because she cooks most weekends. She usually cook together, but I'd say I probably an average cook maybe 3 meals a week.
That's what's up.
It's always dinner though, because she's always gone in the morning before I even wake up.
Excuse me, baby dragon. Is there any
Baby dragon.
is there any meals that
You know what a
like?
dragon feels like?
No, dude.
No. Those are all pretty different, but
Yeah.
Spooky tail usually has like a,
No, they're like
spear
spiky,
thing.
right?
and then some of them have wings, like tiny wings on a giant.
Yeah. You know what was cool when I was a kid? I went to what museum is that where it's all the dinosaurs?
Wax museum.
Natural history.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really
Something
cool.
like
And they let you it was all tactile, I remember. Like
We had
there was a tactile
dinosaurs, too.
exhibit and there was so I know what dinosaurs look like. 'Cause they had all these models and all the skeletons and there was this one exhibit where you could dig in the sand for fossils. That was so cool.
What about Abraham Lincoln? You know what Abraham Lincoln looks like?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you?
The bushy, long hair, right, and a beard.
He has a beard. Yeah,
And
he's
he's
usually
a big guy.
what's on
super
top of his
tall,
head?
A tall hat.
Tall. Yeah.
All right, so I got some reference, but with that being said, I don't know any details to his face, to his stuff. That's all I know.
He has a little mole on this left side of his
No, he doesn't.
nose. Yeah.
Are you
I think
serious?
he usually has a little mole there. Yeah. Pretty sure. Right, Kelly? Abraham Lincoln has a little mole on his one, right to the left of his nose. I'm pretty sure.
She's checking.
She got the Googler. Handsome, strapping young lad.
Yeah, no, it's.
They have his hat at the.
You're actually making me really think about how I don't know.
He does have a little mole.
On his lip.
No, not on his lip.
On his nose?
Like to the side of his, like on his
Like right here.
cheek and nose.
A little
Yeah.
It's not
cheek
colored.
nose, yeah.
It's not colored. It's like a little mark.
Oh, just like a
No,
raised.
it's like a raised little lump.
Yeah.
A little growth on there. I can take that
You're
off for
making
you.
me
Abraham.
realize how I never knew any details growing up except what.
Do you know what you look like?
No, and
That's
people.
why I feel like I had so much to share with you.
I know, like as soon as me and Kelly started dating, it was like nonstop. Her just like painting the world for me.
You know what
It
a
was so
$100
cool.
bill looks like? Do you?
No,
$1 bill, y'all.
actually, I don't.
We got a lot to teach you, dude.
Dude, no, it's messed up because it drives you crazy. I talked about it. We were on. Can we say that? Yeah.
What?
We were on the podcast.
Talking about
Honeydew.
in the honeydew?
Yeah, we were on the Honeydew.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
We just did the honeydew with Ryan
with Ryan
Sickler coming
Sickler,
out.
and it
May or
was-
may not be on before this comes out.
It was awesome, actually. And
That's fun.
I talked about it. I never really articulated that before, but like how the feeling of wanting to see so bad perfectly, but you can't, and it would drive you crazy if you just sit there and live with that feeling just all day. Like you have to kind of, compartmentalize it. And it's like that feeling, the only thing I can relate to is trying to bring back like a loved one that you lost. Like if you sit there, you can drive yourself crazy wanting to bring that person back, and you can do the same with the vision.
It's
just
a great
like,
analogy, yeah.
because I'd never seen those. So it's like I could drive myself freaking crazy just wanting to know what things actually look like opposed to my reference and like what I paint it to be.
Yeah.
It's wild. Like, and then I started to think about most people in the world, there's 20/20, but 20/20 vision is perfect. But a lot of people don't have 20/20, right?
Mm-hmm.
So does that mean everyone's seeing slightly different?
Yeah, who knows because you can never truly know what their perception of the world is, yeah.
I've always thought about that. Like, something can look way crisper to someone else, but to that other person that's not seeing it as crisp, that's perfect to them, what they're seeing.
Yeah. Yeah, to a degree. But I mean, you show a picture of a dog to any person in the world, they know it's a dog.
I know, but
You know
there's
what I
some people that paid way more attention to detail also.
Mm-hmm.
They'll notice
Definitely,
things.
yeah.
And I feel like if I could see, I would be observing everything. But I feel like I would only say that now because I never have seen. So maybe I would take it for granted.
Yeah, eventually you'd be like, yeah, look right past the
Like if I
beautiful
never
sunset
experienced
after a while.
blindness, yeah, that's what Kelly likes. She likes to slow down and like take those things in. And a lot of the time people that can see are like, she'll be like, no, but look, the like sunset, like look at that. And they'll be like, yeah, I get it. It's a sunset. And they'll like keep walking. But I'll be like, wait, like what colors are in it? And like what, like I want to know.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm so curious about what everything looks like.
Mm. Yeah,
And
we're-
some blind people, like, they don't, it's just like whatever because you have that reference or whatever. You don't really care too much. It's like it is what it is,
Yeah,
like-
I'm not going to dwell on it as much as other people.
Not even dwelling on it, but like, oh, tell me what everything looks like, Like I'll sit there and listen to what everything looks like in detail. But some blind people will be like, I don't really care.
Yeah, I've begun to not really care as much anymore.
Right, and I kind of noticed that. Like, you don't mind knowing really what things look like unless you're,
Mhm.
like, feeling it or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's a totally different way.
Yeah, it's just whatever that, each individual.
Do you find that it bums you out? Is that why you don't want to know?
No, I just don't care. I don't need to know.
Because you're not living a visual life.
Mm-hmm.
So you just kind of, yeah, I guess
Just
so.
kind of just like, yeah, whatever. I'm not going to.
Do you ever wonder, like,
Maybe I'll see it again one day, but.
do you ever wonder, though, like, when you see something or, like, when you're experiencing something you've never seen before, even when you could see? Like, are there things like that?
Yeah, like people, I guess.
Yeah,
what
like you've
somebody
said, your
looks
son
like.
growing up.
Or just like new people I meet,
Mhm.
wonder what they look like, yeah.
Do you make
I'm trying to think of like an object or something, though, yeah.
visual, like do you paint someone's face in your head when you meet someone? Like, do you paint what they look like, kind of?
Yeah, kind of. I just reference to, like, I've talked about this a bit on here already, but, like, I just like, a similar voice of somebody that I know
from
already.
in the past. Okay.
Like, the way that guy sounds I assume he looks like this person.
Have you ever...
And a lot of times it's kind of correct.
Have you ever been totally wrong, like, of what you thought someone looked like? Like, and then you told Heather, and she's like, no.
Yeah, so I had this teacher one time who just sounded like talked very proper, like a doctor would talk.
Mm-hmm.
Or not even a doctor, but, like, she sounded white. And then, like, after Heather met her and after class, she's like, "You're not gonna believe this. I guess your one teacher is black." I'm like, "What?"
Isn't
so, like,
that
some
so
people
crazy?
like, yeah, like accents like that are funny.
Yeah, some shows I can't watch. Like, I'm starting to get better at it. If you like, because it takes a lot of TV's the hardest though. But when you're watching a show or a movie that's all accents, like British or Australian, sometimes it's really hard for me to distinguish, like, the males apart if they sound like similar tones and stuff.
I've been messing up accents a lot actually lately too.
Thinking
it could be like an Asian accent, and I thought it was like Spanish. And I was like, no, that person's like Asian. I'm like, wait, what the heck am I? I don't know. I think my hearing is getting worse though, honestly.
Really?
But stuff like that's been mixed up. I never had a problem with that in the past. Like, I can always tell that pretty.
Yeah.
So I wonder how much of that stuff is kind of visual in some ways. Like, and English and Australian sometimes get mixed up.
Oh, yeah.
Unless I'm, like, really paying attention. But if it's just like a brief conversation, you know, a couple words, I could definitely get that mixed up.
Have you ever had conversations with people while you're like, you have your cane and you're standing there and you're clearly blind and they're just not comprehending that you can't see?
Yeah, having my Uber driver today.
Really?
Yeah, just like not knowing, like, he was like parked right in front of me, and he was like, eventually called me, and was like, "Hey, like, I'm right in front."
Oh,
like,
my
in
God!
Front of me, like, you right in front of me.
He was right in front of you.
He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I'm right here."
Why didn't you just say something?
Yeah, I was like, "I'm blind." Like, he's like, "Oh," and then eventually he, like, rolled his window down.
It happened to me at the hotel the other day. Where?
Oh, the breakfast?
Yeah. I go down to breakfast at the hotel with my cane, and, like, I'm, like, clearly have no idea where I'm going in this hotel because it's brand new. And I'm, like, feeling around with my cane, right? So, like, obviously I have no idea where I'm going. And then finally find someone. They're like, "Oh, I don't work here. But the front desk is just go straight, blah, blah, blah." So I did that, and the whole I'm just trying to, like, get breakfast, and I smell, like, the eggs and the sausage. So I'm like, and I went over by that, like, area, so I knew it was all right there, but I couldn't find, like, where everything was to, like, get it all and what was what. And then I go to the front desk, and they're like, the lady's like, "Can I help you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can't see it all, and I need help getting, like, can someone just help me with the breakfast, like, picking it out or whatever."
Yeah.
And she's like, first of all, she didn't believe I stayed there. She was like, "Well, are you even staying here?" And she's like, "You have to be staying here to get breakfast." And I was like, "Excuse me?" Like, "Yeah, I am." And I told her my room number. She's like, made me confirm my last name, all this stuff. And then she's like, "Okay, follow her. She'll help you." And I was like, "Who?" And then she's like, "Over there." And I'm like, "But ma'am, I can't see it all."
Yeah, like, where? Give me some more direction here.
And then the lady who I'm supposed to be following doesn't speak any English, and she's not even saying where she is, like, not making any sounds. And then eventually they just start talking in Spanish, and the lady's like, "Well, what do you want?" And then I'm like, "Well, what do you have? That's what I'm trying to figure out." And she's like,
"Yeah,
we have bagels and sweetbread," or something like that. She said three things to me.
Yeah,
and
the most basic, easiest things to grab.
Yeah, and I was like, "Are you serious? Like, there's eggs and sausage and all this stuff," and then just ignored me, and I got, like, so flustered, and I literally turned around and left, and, like, Kelly came down and had to help me with breakfast, and then the lady, like, literally tried kicking us out of the the area where you eat breakfast. There's these tables.
Well, I came down, like, right when breakfast ended. This is when I came down, and she's like, she talks to Kelly while like, because Kelly got up and helped me, and then she's like, man, you only have 2 people in your room, like he can't eat. I'm like, no, I have a room too. She's like, oh, you're staying here? Like, yeah. And then you guys started getting into it.
Oh,
you
my
didn't. Kelly's like, you didn't help my husband.
She's like,
blah blah blah. She's like, what are you talking about? Yes, I did. And she's like, no, but yeah.
and then
Turned into a scene for a
was all
second.
bad. She tried kicking us out of the food place.
Like, breakfast ends at 9:30. Yeah,
We're like,
it's like 9:34. Like, lady, come on.
Crazy things, but you just gotta.
It's like, I don't know if she either was like, maybe was there all night and she was supposed to go home an hour ago or something.
You always got to think of what
or
situation.
if she didn't know how to help you, so then she got defensive in some ways, you know what I mean, and
You're right.
didn't know how to act, or she was just a boach. One of those 3.
Yeah. No, I think that's a really good way, like, to think about it, though. To think about all those perspectives, like where she's at.
She was very sassy, like, you can't, like, you got to be staying here. Like, yeah, like I've been staying here for a week.
Yeah.
Already. I've been there for like 7 days
I
already.
know.
It's like, you don't know I've been here. I actually hadn't come down for breakfast, but
No, but I think it is really good to take those things into consideration, because it's so easy to get like pissed off at someone for like how they're acting or like not understanding a situation. But it's like,
yeah, that stuff I've learned to like not. You can't let that make you angry, because
yeah, because that'll ruin your day.
That lady's clearly angry in some way, shape, or form. She doesn't like her job or whatever,
Yeah,
but you can't let that be like.
I always say it's like,
you gotta like handle it in the most adult way. Just like, all right,
hurt people trying
onward.
to hurt people.
Forget about her. Because I had a great experience in breakfast this morning. I called.
I know, that's what you said.
I called right before, and I was like, "Hey, could you like grab me something, pull something on a plate for me? Sausage, eggs, and a bagel." She's like, "Yeah, no worries." And I came down, and I was like, kind of making my way through that lobby area, same kind of deal. And she's like, "Oh, you room 302?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then she's like, "Oh, let me help you," and she helped me out. So I must have been a different lady.
Yeah, or she was just had a better day.
Maybe she hopes she just had a better day.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You'll be back there tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
See how it goes. We got to get breakfast in the morning. And
We're
see how it
definitely
goes.
getting breakfast.
We both got to go. Just me and you go down there.
Yeah,
and see what
just
happens.
us.
Just start banging everything around, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Just charge it. Yeah, at that point, I usually just get, because I do get frustrated. So at that point, I would just go in there and just start grabbing shit.
Start, like,
I don't
whatever you
care
can
anymore.
find.
Fine. You want me to do this? I'm going to fuck your shit up.
Have you ever?
But I feel bad because I don't want to be dipping my hands and stuff. And like,
and you don't want to be that person.
because there's other
either.
people who are going to eat on the same food. So
You're affecting more than just them.
Exactly.
It's like, it's not worth it. Have you had any experiences, like, lately or ever since you went blind, that you, once you got comfortable with like your travel and your skills and independence, have you had any things that are like, oh, I have too much anxiety to go do that because I don't know what's going to happen because you're blind, like because you can't see in that situation? Like maybe for going to a new bar or going out to a new place.
yeah. I mean, honestly, haven't done much stuff by myself in a while, other than travel.
No, but even if it's with someone else.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
I definitely struggle with that. Like, there was a lot of things I missed out on, like, growing up, and even, like, things, like, in the past couple of years that, you know, I had to, like, get over, that it's, like, not being able to see or, like, scared of an unknown situation or something. Like, it's really terrifying, and then you actually go and do it, and you're like, why was I so freaking scared of this?
Yeah, definitely earlier a lot, but then I kind of made it my mission to, anytime I felt that, I would force myself to do it.
You did? It was kind of like
Yeah, okay, now I'm scared. Okay, now I need to do that. But then, I mean, there's little things, like, still, like, in the airport, instead of getting up to use the bathroom in, like, the terminal, I'll just wait till I get on the plane.
I feel...
And just use it on the plane and kind of, like, adapt a little bit. Because I don't want to have to go through the hassle of navigating there and coming back and trying to find a new seat.
And then with your bags and stuff.
So I definitely change that stuff a little bit. I'm trying to think of an actual example. Yeah, I don't...
There's been times where I thought I was going to piss myself because I was at, like, a new house, like a friend's house or something. I didn't know where the bathroom was. Excuse me. One of the first things I did, like, do when I go to a new place is like try and figure out where the bathroom is.
Yeah, that's number one. Yeah.
Yeah.
El baño.
Make that map. So it's like, all right, I got this.
Yeah, I definitely still have that anxiety though.
Right?
In a new place.
It's
where
always there.
And even when I find the bathroom, afterward, I'm like, man, am I going to be able to find that again? Start getting turned around, chatting with people.
I was wondering if I
Where's
was
the
the
bathroom?
only one that like got that. I wonder if people that don't
Like
that-
everybody.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If you get that and you're not blind, let me know. Because I've struggled with that so much, and I'm like, sometimes you kick yourself in the head and you like regret, all the stuff you missed out on even growing up, especially for me. But like, I'm starting to recognize that and like get over that a lot, and like I think I'm in that position and recently gotten like even further. But what you were saying, where you're like, anytime I feel that, I try and like challenge it and just do that.
I felt uncomfortable at the last spot I went to with everybody.
At the dinner spot?
No, like skating.
Oh,
the last
really?
skate spot. Because there was like, there's at least 10 dudes there. And some of them I had met, some of them I hadn't. So like, there was definitely a little anxiety of just hanging out and like trying to remember whose voice is whose.
Not getting in the way.
Who
of
I
new
met.
People.
Like, yeah, who I met already, who I didn't. Definitely that anxiety is still there.
Yeah, it's easier when you're with a known group, like people you know.
Yeah, I'm way more comfortable. Yeah.
My amount of anxiety when I'm in like a group of new people, and I'm like I do very well socializing, but the anxiety underneath is like that I have to push through is crazy.
Yeah, I still have that.
It's mentally draining too.
Yeah, meeting new people. But that I think is everybody.
Yeah.
Or most people have that, just social anxiety.
But I think
new people.
it's the extra things though. You don't, like if you're at a restaurant or a bar, it's like
we have a little more.
Those like
yeah.
the extra sounds, like having to lean in. I don't know if you do this, but like some people are like reading lips at a bar or like a restaurant and stuff. I'll literally lean in with my ear like towards the person. And I'm like, oh, I probably look like such an asshole, but I have to do this.
Yeah, especially talking in a big circle. People is super awkward.
Oh man,
I don't know where to look.
It's like, what do I do with my hands?
I don't know when is my turn to talk.
I think that was another thing, like an anxiety I had a lot, like growing up, was I couldn't see like what other people did normally for like social norms of like
body
where
language.
do you put your hands when you're talking? Like, do I put them in my pockets? Like, just little
the cane helps with that. I'm always just leaning on my cane.
I know,
two hands
on the cane. It always helps.
Yeah, that's the move.
It is.
Give you something to do with your hands. Play
I
with the little elastic band on there.
There's like the blind. I think we've talked about this, the blindisms. People like play with their eye. People rock back and forth.
The Stevie Wonder.
The
shit.
Stevie Wonder. No, I never did.
But that's I heard that is what that is not having those social cues and know what people do with their body language. So that's just a blind person. That is like a blind person's fidget with their hand in their pocket is them like shaking or like moving back and forth.
I knew blind people that used to literally rock.
Yeah,
dude, like rock, and I was so like
rock and roll around.
Confused by it. I think it really helped me being the youngest of 5 like sighted people, like and growing up in a big sighted family that just didn't treat me differently.
Yeah. Anthony, stop rocking.
Oh, dude, I used to get it bad. Like, don't pick your face, like all those things, and like
that's a big one.
And like, I'm so grateful for those things. Like, use your fork. Like, don't use your hand. Like, that's disgusting. It's a visual world. Like, that's the thing I was always reminded too. Is like, it is a visual world. Like, people, like you might not be able to see everyone, but people can see what you're doing. So, try and be like somewhat decent. Like hygiene was a big thing. To, like, just all those little things.
Wash your pits.
Brush your teeth.
You gotta teach every young boy to brush his teeth.
I know. How do you brush? How do you do the toothpaste?
I just squirt it in my mouth and swish water around.
You don't use a toothbrush?
No, I use a toothbrush.
Finger trick.
The old finger.
No, I do the squirt it in the mouth though.
Sometimes, when you don't have a toothbrush?
No, that's how I do the toothpaste.
You better not.
What do you do?
Put it on. Oh, you mean to put the toothpaste on?
To brush my teeth?
Oh, you just squirt a little bit in your mouth?
Exactly.
That's
so I don't
unsanitary.
I'm Why?
Never
it's
using
my
your toothpaste.
toothpaste.
No, it's our toothpaste. This is a Dan world. This is Dan's world.
It's
That's actually that is a question.
toothpaste.
That is a question on the VRT certification test.
What? How you brush your teeth?
What are I think what is it? What are 3 methods?
Please enlighten me, Daniel.
It's like what is the like I can't remember exactly what it's something along the lines of like what is the best method when teaching like that toothpaste on a toothbrush thing. And then there was like options like put a dab in the palm of your hand.
That is not
put
sanitary.
a dab on the finger. These are the correct and wrong answers.
Oh,
You had to do the right ones. Put it on the finger or use the finger as a guide to put it on the toothbrush. I use the finger as a guide. So my pointer finger is parallel with the bristles.
The pointer finger that's holding
the actual
hand that's
brush.
holding the brush. Yeah.
Yeah. So my finger is going along like the side of the bristles.
Mm-hmm.
So then when I put the toothpaste on, I can feel like the end of the toothpaste cap go kind of on the bristles and along my finger. And then I can feel with my finger how much toothpaste is on the bristles,
Mm-hmm.
And then I put them both in my mouth and lick off the remaining toothpaste on my finger. And then, yeah.
Yeah, but how many times have you gotten...
There's a lot of sighted people who just put toothpaste in their mouth too, though. They just like squirt some in there and then go to town.
Interesting. How many times have you gotten like... See, I also brush my teeth in the shower a lot because I hate toothpaste. Like, in sense
it gets all over.
Dude,
the
I've
place,
had times where I've been
you're
later through the day and I'm like, what is that? And it's like toothpaste in my beard, like crusted over.
Yeah, you got to make sure you wash the beard when you're done brushing for sure.
Yeah, so...
That and the hoodie strings dipping down in
Yeah,
the
the
toothpaste
hoodie
water.
strings. That,
And then they're, like,
I
crusty.
hate that, dude. There's so... I'll have to, like, sometimes I'll just, like,
These
I'm
are
taking the
probably
sweatshirt
crusty.
off.
You got to tuck them in. You tuck your
You tuck them
things
in.
like a
You roll the
napkin.
sleeves up.
Yeah, brushing your teeth, man. That's hard. It's a
Eric Weinmayer
it's a whole
said,
thing.
yeah, it's all right. Sometimes when you're blind, you might mistake the icy hot for toothpaste.
Yeah, that's my worst. At
Oh.
Heather's mom's house is the worst because they put the toothpaste in the mirror cabinet up on the wall, and it's just next to like 10 other
Yeah,
things, and
like-
it's like, which one is toothpaste?
I know.
I gotta ask every time.
I hate that.
Yeah, organization. is key.
You were afraid you were going to use my butt cream the other day.
Exactly.
A hemorrhoid cream.
And Kelly's like, yeah, it's not in there. And then she came in there like, oh yeah, the butt paste is right here. Yeah, I know it is because Anthony was talking about it earlier. I know it's in here.
Oh, man.
Not trying to pH
Don't brush your teeth with
my
hemorrhoid
teeth,
cream.
dude.
It is cooling, but don't use that. It
Floss? You ever use a water
though.
pick?
It was organic. A water pick. I had to use one when I got my tooth yanked out.
Oh yeah, just spray in there.
Disgusting.
Dude, those
I
are-
wouldn't use it though. I made Kelly do it. I was too scared. I'm too scared to mess with that type of stuff. When
I
you have,
love
like,
that
a hole in
thing.
your mouth.
Yeah, the water pick is key, dude.
Yeah, those things are awesome.
They work great. That's when I have that in the shower. So I
They'd
do
be
that.
good if you didn't. I'd love to use it now that I don't have a gaping hole.
It's hole in your
What?
gum. It's all healed up.
Yeah. All right.
Is that it?
That's it.
We about there?
Brushing your teeth is a hard task. It can get pretty
There's a
sketchy.
million barriers in this blind world.
Watch out for your hoodie strings.
Yep. Thank you. Email us questions, Dan at 4badeyes or Anthony at 4badeyes.com. 4FOUR, and then follow
Send-
4 Bad Eyes across the board.
That's right. Send in questions. Send in who you want us to get on as guests, who you want to hear from,
Yes.
who you want to hear us interview.
And unlike unsubscribe.
What's your
Leave a bad comment.
What's your personals?
Personal at Dan the Mancina across the board.
And ASF Vision.
Much love. Keep pushing.
One love.
Keep pushing and one love from 4 Bad Eyes.